scale relationships do, and introduce suggestions of things sexual. Weston doesn't engage in that kind of title-making gamesmanship or surrealist way of defeating reason, but he's still a surrealist. Large and small. What's the difference between a landscape and a nude? Very little, right? Same forms. You could switch the titles, couldn't you? Maybe I got them mixed up in making up the PowerPoint slide. Same thing, same game. Look at that. Hey, it's kind of flesh-like. Maybe it's really a green pepper. Up close. You realize how scale is toyed with, played with, as much as the Ernst painting, right, of 1922. Sometimes specific references to well-known works associated, well, with surrealism and the movement that preceded it, in which many participants in the surrealist movement belonged. A famous urinal, exhibited in 1917, really the original only known from a photograph here by Alfred Stieglitz and published in a magazine in 1917. Famous toilet, famous urinal. This is Weston's, I know he doesn't say it, homage to this famous urinal, bathroom item by Marcel Duchamp, who by the 1920s was part and parcel of the surrealist movement. Worked on surrealist magazines, published works of his in surrealist magazines, helped organize surrealist shows, was friends with all the surrealists, really stood for surrealism, and also something sexual, given the sort of body parts that tend to be active in bathroom situations. Weston gives an extended description of his work on this toilet in Mexico in 1925. If you'll permit me, I just want to read part of it. Form follows function, writes Weston. Who said this? I don't know. Well, it's Louis Sullivan, just to fill in. But the writer spoke well. I have been photographing our toilet, that glossy, enameled receptacle of extraordinary beauty. It might be suspicion that I am in a cynical mood to approach such subject matter when I might be doing beautiful women or God out of doors, or even consider that my mind holds lecherous images arising from the restraint of appetite. Again, unconscious sexual urges somehow rising up here. But no, my excitement was absolute aesthetic response to form. Oh yeah. For long have I considered photographing this useful and elegant accessory to modern hygienic life, but not until I actually contemplated its image on my ground glass, on this camera, did I realize the possibilities before me. I was thrilled. Here was every sensuous curve of the human form divine, but minus imperfections. Again, likening toilet bowl to human body parts. Never did the Greeks reach a more significant consummation to their culture, and it somehow reminded me of the glory of its chaste convolutions and its swelling, sweeping forward movement of finely progressing contours of the victory of Samothrace. And yet the blind will turn longingly back to classic days for art. Now I eagerly await the development of my exposed film. That was on October 21st, October 30th, trying variations of the WC. He's still working on that, right? Different viewpoints, another lens. From certain angles it appeared quite obscene. So does presentation change emotional response. Only one more negative so far, which I might have liked not having done for the first one. However, I'm not through. The lines seen from the almost floor level are quite elegant, but to work so low I must rig up some sort of camera stand other than my tripod. November 1st. Hey, guy's still working on the toilet. It was more simple than I had thought. By placing any camera on the floor without tripod, I found exactly what I wanted and made 4 negatives with no change of viewpoint, except that which came from substituting my short focus RR. Unhesitatingly, I respond to my new negatives and shall choose one to print from. November 4th. Question. I can hardly answer which of my loves, the old or the new privy, I like best. Perhaps the first, yet the second, or rather the last, which is such a different conception as to its hardly comparable. It's quite as elegant in line and dignified as the other. Taken from floor level, the opening circle to the receptacle does not enter into the composition, hence to nice people it may be more acceptable. Less suggestive, however, to the pure, etc. I like best the negative made with my RR lens, a much shorter focus, for by getting closer and underneath the bowl, I attained finer proportions, but I have one sorrow. All due to my haste, carelessness, stupidity, and I kick myself with pleasure. The wooden cover shows at the top, only a quarter inch, but distracting enough. Of course, I noted this on my ground glass, but thought I must make the best of it. Such a simple act as unscrewing the cover did not occur to me. I have only one excuse for myself, that I have done all these negatives under great stress, fearing every moment that someone being called by nature would wish to use the toilet for other purposes than mine. Now I shall retouch the cover away, difficult to do, being black or to go to the effort and expense of doing my sitting over. I dislike to touch a pencil to this beautiful negative, yet it is in the unimportant background, and to do the thing over means half a day's work and confusion plus expensive panachromatic films. I shall start to retouch and see how I react. Afternoon. Now that I'm nicely stewed from beer, imbibed at Mercedes' birthday party, for which we bought a keg, I see with more clarity. To take off the toilet's cover, either by unscrewing or retouching, would make it less a toilet. And I should want it more a toilet rather than less. Photography is realism. Well, I make excuses. This went on for months, right?